Hello, everyone. Welcome to Showboys. We are here for our last installment of the Mr. Robot Throwback Thursday series. Sorry, I was a little distracted by Nick's chat in our private chat that I decided to read right as that intro was ending. Yeah, so here we are. Real excited to get into things tonight. Yeah, I'm excited, but as I was talking to Nick earlier, I think it was yesterday, that like this is the only reason I wanted to do a podcast was to talk about Mr. Robot.
And now it's over.
We finally did
Now
it.
it's over.
It took almost 3 years, 2.5 years to do it, and now it's over. So I don't know if I have a reason to go on anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Rip.
This may be the last episode that
The last
I am
episode.
on the
So
show.
literally,
No,
goodbye, friends.
yeah, so literally goodbye, friends. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? I don't know. You have to tune in next week to find out. But yeah, welcome. Thank you, top tier patrons, Tim B, Yusuf H, and Joe C. Your support means the world to us. All of our other patrons, thank you so much for your support too. You guys are awesome, and we really appreciate you. We have an OLED Switch to give away. We got to hit 100 subscribers here on YouTube first, so subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe so we can get that giveaway
100.
underway. Now that we got that stuff out of the way.
Ooh, I liked that. Giveaway underway. I like the way you're pulling words tonight.
That was smooth.
That was very smooth.
Thank you. Lightning strikes, at least
Once.
sometime
Once a
in the
year.
world. I don't know. Isn't that how the saying goes?
Yeah, that's it. You nailed it.
Ouch.
Yeah, see?
You
Wow,
are
we're
on
just rolling,
fire.
rolling
Stuff while
today,
you're
man.
on
While you're
fire.
hot.
Yeah, no, it's actually like what? You can catch 2 lightning bugs in a jar a day
That's
or
it.
something.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yeah.
That
Nailed
was
it.
it. Nailed it.
Glad you tried again.
Yeah.
So glad.
Anyways, we're joined by Pixel Nick, as always, Chadwick the Third, as always, and on screen tonight, Mr. Fatherbot himself. He's not going to be behind the scenes tonight. He needed to come on and talk about the finale here of Mr. Robot. We'll start with you, Jeff, since you're usually behind the scenes. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks
Yeah.
for asking. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What about you, Chad? Have a good day today?
I did. I had a great day today. I think we're gonna rock the hoodies down here in this
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Down in the
We're the-
southern
we're the-
hemisphere.
Yeah,
of
some
the-
of the
The cool crowd.
Nick's pretty hype. He's about to get some fancy internet tomorrow or something.
Whoop, whoop.
Monday.
Monday.
I'm using my valuable President's Day to get fiber installed and go fast.
and go fast.
Real fast.
No
so yeah.
no more laggy StreamYard like bars. No more prioritized device. Hopefully it's
Yeah,
just
sounds like a
lightning
good
fast.
time.
Like I can like stream shows and play games while I podcast all at the same time.
See, that's what I need because the boys are always salty that they can't play Roblox when I'm down here. But I don't think is fiber like the thing that does like not everybody has in their area.
Yeah.
It's
correct.
kind of here and there. It's not
Yeah.
widely.
They kind of
available
just
yet.
dropped lines in my neighborhood last fall. So I got another email from like AT&T today. I'm like, hey, check out what's new. And they're like, check if fiber's in your area. I'm like, check. And they're like, you're good to go. I'm like, sweet. They could have installed it tomorrow, but I was like, nah, I got stuff to do tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll take my.
Unbelievable.
They
Elliot-
do it
Elliot
Saturday,
would have been
Sunday,
like, hey,
Monday.
come over right now.
Right
I'm
now.
not even
Yeah.
gonna wait till tomorrow.
So
He'll
ready
plug
for
me
it.
into like the neighbor's internet or something.
He would have made his own fiber
Yeah.
wires and with a Pringle box and some old cell phones
In
or
his
something.
mind.
Yeah. In his mind, indeed. Yes.
All right, so so got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're gonna react and recap season 4. We'll talk about the entire series as a whole. Dad made a great in memoriam video for all of our fallen friends from season 4, and tribute to everyone who left us during the show. We talked about it every episode, and he threw one together, so we'll be playing that. But before we do anything, let's get just some initial reactions. Chad, you seem a little disgruntled. So are your initial thoughts now the show's over?
Yeah, so I actually really love this season a lot. Hell of a season. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that happens in the season. It's just the end was maybe fizzled out for me a little bit than I was anticipating. I was expecting a little bit more of a twist. The twist that we got, it was like, nah, like kind of saw it coming. Like the dude never changes his hoodie. The only other person that does that is Mr. Robot, so it's kind of obvious, but yeah, I don't know. I just the ending kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but the ride to get there was freaking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite season so far.
Whoa.
Nice.
Wow.
Dad,
Nice.
Mr. Fatherbot, what do you think?
I loved it. Awesome ride from beginning to end. I love the end. There was a point where, you're expecting some of these theories to kind of like pay off at some point, but they don't.
Right.
But they don't need to, because it's not really about that, or they would have spent way more time on it. Anyway, I loved it. It was, one of my favorite shows.
My only rebuttal to Chad is I generally wear the same hoodie
I wear the same hoodie
every
Thursday.
day, except for on the weekends, and then it gets washed and I change. So I don't know. Maybe we just never caught Elliot on laundry day.
Yeah.
Or whenever it was Mr. Robot, that's when he did laundry.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nick, second time through, how was the ending for you?
Like I said at the end of last week, really didn't remember much of this season. And it was really weird because it's almost like a deja vu. Like it's just familiar. Like that's it. It's familiar. You really don't have any inclination as what is really happening. But obviously as they go through it, it just like clicks like instantly. So that was interesting. I don't know why that fourth season completely was just missing from my active memory. Maybe because I was like really binging it at the time and we were just cranking through it all the way back. But yeah, it was really cool. I think I thoroughly enjoyed it more the second time, especially the latter seasons, as things started to kind of unravel to their eventual end. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was definitely a show I don't regret watching twice. And this is really the only way to watch shows twice is to force me to do it through the podcast. So,
Right.
Like, I don't know if I probably would have eventually watched Game of Thrones again, but it really helps doing a podcast Throwback Thursday on it and just dedicating yourself. Now I will never forget it because we've talked about it, each for as long as you watch them. So really cements it all in your brain.
Yeah.
Mike, how about you on your like fourth watch?
Third.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
I've almost hit as many seasons as there are in my watch number. But yeah, I season 4 hit a lot harder this time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because of the amount of time it's been between my watches. Like, I started my second watch right after episode 12. Yeah, because there's 13 episodes. So as soon as episode 12 aired, I was like, all right, I got to restart because this is crazy. And then of course I finished shortly after the series finished. And then it's been like, what, 3 years or so?
4.
3 or 4 years since the show aired, and I haven't touched it since. So like, yeah, I don't know, man. It was just it hit a lot harder this time, and it was really, really good. And knowing what you know after your first watch, that the whole journey is about Elliot and his growth, and not about the not about the hack. It's not about 5-9. It's not about E Corp or F Society. It's about Elliot and his dissociative identity disorder, and like how that affects the people around him as well as himself. And like, yeah, that last episode, the last half of the last episode is just like so good. It just, when you, I will admit, my first watch, I was like really let down because I wasn't sure if I was into the time travel, alternate reality, like multiple reality things that they were setting up. But by episode 11 and 12, I was like, okay, if that's where we're going, like, let's see it. Let's have it. And then the first half of episode 13, I'm like, oh, holy crap, they did it. Like, this is crazy. And then they're like, psych, no, I didn't do it. And then we saw those like versions of Christian Slater, and I was like, this is a literal nightmare.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Especially like the little kid Slater. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh no. Like, then I got my hopes up for the time stuff, and then the second watch I was like, okay, it's actually pretty beautiful. And then this watch I was like sitting there typing, and I'm like, oh, don't cry.
Crying.
Don't cry, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like I have more questions that will hopefully be answered tonight than I did going into season 4, and there's not another season to answer said questions. Mm-hmm. So it's a little worse. And I'll be honest with you, the White Rose thing made me feel a little catfish, to be honest. It's very Night Kingy. It was like building this stuff up, and then it was like, yeah, she's crazy. So none of that shit really mattered. She's just dead.
Yeah, but like all the way up until the first part of the finale, I was just like, yeah, she's just crazy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't buy into any of it really until like until that part where he wakes up, and then we have like alt Elliot, who's the real Elliot. And then we have like that real awkward Rick and Morty situation where best scene of Rick and Morty, by the way. Love that episode.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty bury their
just the sidebar into that. That was the moment which I was like, okay, this show is like next kind of level in terms of how ridiculous it's going to go. And just, I don't know, that really broke out, not the fourth wall, but when they kill themselves in the other reality and they just take over that reality. And it's just from that point forward, that's where they live. Like that's just how the show rolls. And I was just like, damn, like that's deep, but not deep.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. It's crazy. I'm excited to get into the details and specifically like the questions that you have and maybe Jeff has. But before we do, let's pay tribute to those that we lost along the way. Yes. Here we go. Let's honor the fallen.
I'm just gonna go for a walk.
Think of it this way, Jane. You didn't lose the game. You just ran out of time.
Ever wanted was to finally bring an end to that dysfunction and deliver us a better world.
Oh, geez, guys, hold
Touching.
on. I gotta
Bravo.
get a Kleenex. Holy cow!
Very
Man.
good. Very
Spoiler
good.
alert! Wow.
Yeah. So as
Way
soon
to
as
get
we got
all
into
the
that,
way.
I was like, "Oh wait, we probably should have spoiler warning."
Yeah.
Oops.
and then I was like, "Oh, so audio only listeners, you got to listen to a cool piece of
Gun-
the original soundtrack."
Gunshots.
Yeah.
Gunshots, a lot of
A
gunshots.
lot of gunshots. Also, a third thing that ran through my mind is like, if someone tunes in right now, they're gonna think this is a very weird podcast where
Yeah.
we just show people getting
Right.
shot by guns.
Lots
But
of
yeah,
Oh, rip.
lot of deaths in the series, and I'd have to agree with what you put at the end there. You know, some of the characters we may not have loved at first, but the show, the one thing that I told Nick time and time again when this was airing and whatnot is like what makes the show so amazing outside of the writing is just how amazing every character that had like any role outside of like an extra, like they were well written and like brilliantly acted, that you cared about everyone who came on screen, and everyone who came on screen added a bunch to the scene and the episode and like the arc of the season that they're involved in. So many great characters. Much so that a lot of my favorite characters are like secondary characters.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But yeah, thank you for making that, Jeff. That was a beautiful video.
You're welcome. I was gonna say, you know, it just goes to show how important character arc and character development is. Like, I hated Tyrell, for example, in the beginning. Like, I wanted him to die.
Yeah, same.
But like,
Yeah.
but towards the end, like, I was hoping that stuff would turn around and like they would work stuff out and, you know, go through with their plan. But
Yeah.
and then he died.
And I was kind of I didn't like his death just because the dude was in the truck. I don't know how Tyrell got shot in like the gut. Like it's just like odd angle, like shooting angle. Like I was like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Now. Like that's just like he just needed to get shot in a place
Yeah.
where he'd walk away dramatically.
Another crazy thing about his death too is like, so he just goes to this blue light and then it just fades. Like,
it's the blue screen of death.
Yeah. I mean,
they took so much time showing everyone else's death brutally or whatever by gunshot or whatever, and he just kind of left out in the open. He's gonna go
Yeah.
for a walk and then finds this blue light and then what? Dies? Passes out?
Yeah. I
mean,
Because
agree with you.
he could
Yeah.
probably still be saved at that point, I would think.
Yeah, I'm not a paramedic or like an expert, but
I'm
he
not
got shot.
either.
Dom got like stabbed in the chest and the lung, and she was
Right.
still good. Like she had a 10-minute, 15-minute lead time where she was able to be saved.
Right.
Yeah.
I Tyrell could have been saved.
We
for
should ask the
Yeah,
the,
He's
the
done.
actual paramedic on the
I-
show.
I'm
Yeah,
not
what-
a paramedic. I'm not a paramedic, but
Yeah, Mike, jeez.
I think
Idiot.
Close
that
enough.
I think
You
He's
probably
the only
know,
one here
probably know
qualified
more
to
than
save
we do.
lives.
I
So.
think this was one of my big questions for the season that I was talking about earlier. Is like that just fizzled the hell out. Is that just their artsy way of showing how he died?
maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
what
it
the
was
hell's
just,
going on
like,
there?
I think it was to play into the like time thing, reality thing. But I think all in all, I think it was just a funny like the literal like he got the blue screen of death.
Yeah. I mean, it just looked like they just literally forgot about that portion of the
Yeah.
season that they did later on. They were
Yeah,
like, oh,
Sorry,
yeah, we
Tyrell,
forgot
but
about
you're
that.
forgettable.
Yeah,
late.
when it happened, everyone was like, "What was that? Like, what the heck?"
Did
like,
he go back in time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
time
a lot
traveler.
of the time throughout the series, after season 1, like whenever Tyrell kind of has his breakdown, I forget what season that is, and he starts working with Elliot, a lot of people were like, is he another personality? And then
I
his
was one of
death
those, yeah.
didn't like ease that
No.
question at all.
No.
It's a
and-
hyper tangible personality.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it maybe there's a case to be for him being the actual Elliot, because in the dream sequence, and we'll get to it later, but he hands the ID to the cop who's Dom in the like dream sequence or whatever's going on there, and she's like,
You don't look anything like this.
Yeah. So
Mm.
I don't think that Elliot looks like
Yeah. And
the mastermind.
he's dressed similar to how Elliot is. He's got the hoodies, like wearing jeans. He's not in his suit like he talks about in that episode that he dies in, about like he's like, I love that about you, Elliot. You just don't care. Like
Yeah.
you wear jeans. I'm wearing like a $6,000 suit. Like,
Yep.
Why don't you care? So yeah, I think there's a little speculation
Absolutely.
in that area for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want to start, Nick?
Well,
There's so
I
much
mean,
to talk about.
Angela.
yeah, well, I think it's like a real big point is that generally speaking, if I understand the ending correctly, everything we mostly saw and like the main plot points of the entire series actually happened. Or did they? Right. So like the hack, Price, White Rose, like everything Angela affirms and like Angela participated in, or not Angela, sorry,
Darlene.
his sister Darlene. Everything Darlene participated in and saw and can affirm that all happened. So, not to, it's not like it was a big kind of like switch reveal at the end and like everything just watched didn't happen, like kind of like a Lost situation where it's just like psych dream or like whatever that was. It was like, everything we saw really happened in this like really crazy world, and that's all real wild. But the part that wasn't real was who we thought Elliot was and all that kind of stuff. But also kind of like, it's hard to say that, the real Elliot, right? Like the real Elliot really wasn't like as we saw him, right? In that perfect loop, because that's what the mastermind created to like make him happy and just like stick him in a dream state.
Yeah.
The real Elliot was the one that Darlene knew, which was very similar to the Elliot we mostly saw. And that's what's interesting is like we saw the real Elliot, at least Darlene definitely did throughout all the seasons, skipping in and out. Because if you think back on all the confusion points, whether it was Angela or Darlene being like, what is with you lately? Right. The real Elliot is like kind of in and out throughout. So I just kind of want to make a point that like the whole like sweater dress up, perfect life, that isn't really the real Elliot. It's like the happy simulated stuck in a box
like
Elliot.
sleeping down in Elliot's head, perfect little life that he's got going on there. But like the White Rose stuff, did that stuff happen? Because because like on the drawings in the computer they have like the demon mask guys as one of the drawings. I was like, okay, so did that actually all happen? Or we just because she doesn't confirm the White Rose stuff, does she? At the end, she confirms the hack.
Yeah, she confirms that White Rose had the machine under the plant.
Yeah, you're right.
It like
and the news was like
exploded.
Found dead, attempted terrorist attack, all that jazz.
Yeah.
So Elliot really was like whooping some crazy terrorist psycho ass. Hacking away.
Yes.
So that was all definitely real.
What did you think about the sketches on the computer?
That was so cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool, but I thought they were going to go in a different direction. Like I thought we were going down the road of this. None of this actually happened, and he made it all up in his head. And these are the drawings that he has, and it was playing all out in his head. But yeah, the drawings are really cool. Especially the demon mask ones. I talked before. I love those masks. So,
and that was fun to think about too, as they were like teasing that angle, right? And I was thinking, I was like, oh, you could totally play this like the real Elliot and dream state Elliot, right? Like he has this kind of like these dreams and he like pretends all this in his head. And that was like when he sees himself in the apartment, that was like him actually manifesting like his identity disorder, like right there. Cause it's like that thing he's created in his mind like came to life.
Yeah.
Right.
But also that gets kind of like snuffed out and weird when obviously he kills them and it's some sort of
stuffs them in a box.
Stuffs them in a box. But that's a good point about the whole ID thing. They don't really explain that. That's real sketchy.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Because Dom was straight up like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Right.
That's not.
Can we just real quick just talk about how freaking Gideon was the only one who didn't come back in this world?
Yeah.
Gideon got screwed. Good guy,
replaced
Gideon.
By Elliot.
Replaced by that's the best part is that he took his job in the dream world.
Freaking Gideon. I feel bad for that guy. The ID thing. It's interesting because I don't even really know. I have no answer to that.
That stumped me right away. I'm like, wait a minute. How does that ID not look like him? Or how does he not look like that?
Yeah. Who does it look like?
And I think
they're
probably
going to show it.
Right. Yeah. I think at least show it. Yeah. I feel like you're season 4. This all happens episode 12, probably. Maybe 13.
That was 13. Like 13 was an unraveling.
Show half of it. Show, Tyrell's hair. Something.
Tyrell's. It was Tyrell.
Yeah, dude. Like what you said, Chad, there's a very compelling argument that Tyrell is actual Elliot. Because like in that dream sequence, he's there.
Yeah.
There's another part too.
Yeah, the only thing is though, like, so is Angela, and like I forget his name. The two, like Angela's boyfriend, Lenny, I think. I don't know, his coworker from season 1. Dom was in there.
Ollie?
So other people who weren't personalities were also in that dream.
F Corp.
True.
Yeah, F Corp. How'd you like that? Just the shift up
clever.
a letter.
Then you get G for Google.
Yeah.
The whole Tyrell. I was just thinking about something there. It'll come back to me. I lost it.
He was holding. I forget what episode, but he was holding a key, the same key that he tucked away at the museum. Do you remember that?
Tyrell was
when he was in Elliot's apartment.
Oh yes, he was. You're right. Yes.
Oh, and we talked about this. Is what it was. And we talked about this in like season 2, right? Tyrell's wife or whatever. Like she still has had the weirdest, and I don't know if it's explained, like weird connection with Elliot, almost as if
Yeah.
she was a Darlene of sorts, where she could actually tell when he was a different person, right? Because he's even like, I feel like she can hear my thoughts, and like, does she hear you? Does she know you're here? And like, she was always really much understanding what was happening with Elliot, as if
Right.
like she knew it was Elliot, but Tyrell, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
she was
she
staring
knew it
at,
was Tyrell who had turned into Elliot, and she was
yeah,
very that's a
and
very
she's
good
just
point.
straight up asking, interrogating, like, where's Tyrell? Right? Like, just like Darlene or Angela would be like, where's, like, you're Mr. Robot, where's Elliot? Kind of
Right.
thing.
Yep,
So-
exactly.
Something that I found interesting, I was watching one of those videos. I think it was the Tyrell is the real Elliot, where I can't remember what language they speak, her and Tyrell.
It's like
Like
Swedish.
Swedish,
Yeah. But they translate it, and she tells him, if you hurt him, I will kill you. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yep. So
I don't know.
I think there's a case there, man. I think there's a case because I've been on Tyrell's case the entire show. You know what I mean? I didn't think this dude was really from season 1 forward. And then that ID thing at the end, it's just like that something's going on. So I was going to look up, because you have that eye opening at the end when she says hello, Elliot. I was like, is that Rami's eyes, or is this, you know what I mean? Or Remy, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Should have looked at the eye color.
Yeah, should have looked at the eye color.
Matched it up.
Because if you go from the angle that it is apparent that Tyrell and Elliot are the same person, and the characters that would be aware of that would be the same characters that have the split interaction
with both
him.
of them. Yeah.
Because
Right.
they understand that there's two of them, just the same way that Darlene, like near the end, is able to hug Elliot goodbye, like in the parking lot, and then as she's walking by Mr. Robot leaning against the car, she like addresses him separately.
Mm-hmm.
Which that brought up questions on whether or not Darlene was a personality.
Yikes!
Because they're like, whoa, she just like hugged him like 10 feet
She
away, and then she like talked to Mr. Robot, who was in a completely different place than Elliot.
Yeah,
like, how
but
did she
Elliot
do
didn't bang Dom. Like, that's the thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the.
That's
I mean,
true.
I kind of thought they were going that way too, especially in the
I don't
sequence.
agree with that. I just was pointing out that people thought that.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of leaning that way, especially when we get to the, I don't know what to call it. We'll just call it dream sequence in 12 and 13, because she doesn't exist in that at all.
The brain sequence.
So the brain sequence, yeah, that's a better way to put it. So I was like, okay, so maybe she is one of the personalities. But then Mr. Robot's there. It's just like a lot of freaking confusion for the final episode of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, like, while you were talking about Joanna, right? You were talking about Joanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I was trying to like quickly Google any theories on who was on the ID, and I couldn't like find anything quick. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't think I put too much stock in the Tyrell theory, but like, it makes a lot of sense. And I think this is a sign of a terrific show, right? It's been over for
so much
4
speculation.
years.
Yeah,
I've watched it 3 times. I still don't have all the answers, and we're still having fun here, like speculating what certain things might have been. And I think that, you know, you got to leave them wanting more. Don't overstay your welcome. Leave them wanting more. Yep. And I think that's exactly what they did here, and I'm totally okay with it.
And that would have been the problem if they would have kept going.
Yeah,
like they would have run dry.
They would have explained everything away, and it would have been kind of boring at that
all
point.
the intrigue and mystery would have been like, oh well, that wasn't as cool as I thought it was.
Wouldn't need to talk about it then.
Right. Now, I don't know if I've said this on any of our episodes, but the Mr. Robot Facebook page has been like active since we started doing this series. Like, they changed their banner picture, their profile picture, and they've been making posts showing clips from the series. And I've been following the page since the show came out, and it has been dead for years and years and years. So like, I
have
don't know why it is active.
I have a confession to make.
Is it you? Did you hack their
You
Facebook
hacked
page? Oh, he's like,
I'd be mad though because you're.
Mike's heart out on the show tonight.
I mean, if you did, I would really hope you would have shared our podcast on their
Right?
Facebook
Come
page.
on, yeah. The
Our
It was
official Mr.
it was
Robot
my other
podcast.
it was my other
producer of the
personality.
year.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about this life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
about
I
this.
have no idea what's going on
That's
with
pretty
that.
cool,
I
though.
know, like, I saw a Reddit post about Mr. Robot coming, like, no longer being available on Prime.
Lies.
Right when we were in like season 2, which that freaked me out because I was like, well, I mean, I own it, but like, I didn't know the state of your ownership of Mr. Robot. So I was like,
We
well,
just
that
have a
could
watch
throw a
party
real
at your house.
right.
Yep.
Actually, that would have been a lot of fun. I was like, oh, that won't be good, but that turned out to not be a thing, at least here in America. I think the post was from like the UK or something. But yeah, there's like all this weird stuff coming and going, and yeah, I don't know if we're getting like there was talks of a prequel comic that never actually was released. It got
That's
delayed.
cool. That's cool. They did that with they did a sequel comic graphic novel for Jericho. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Jericho.
I think you've talked about it before because it sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, it's a great show, and it kind of like was one of those shows that just got canceled abruptly. So they finished out like season 3 and season 4 in graphic novel. So I like that idea.
Oh, nice.
But I also like not touching this at all. So I hope that they're not
Right.
going to like come back. And even though a lot of people would probably be excited if they did like a 2-hour special or another season or something,
Nah,
this is
leave it
like one
alone.
of those shows, like just leave it go. I
Now-
know we have a lot of questions, but
We could
really in my head, I don't want
It's
answers.
ultimately better that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
There is one legit fan idea for a spin-off series that I could totally get behind, and it I've titled it Darlene and Leon's Adventures and Whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, so the airport episode when Leon drops Dom and Darlene off at the airport and they part ways, and he basically tries to like recruit Darlene into being like a mercenary for the almighty paper with Leon. And she like doesn't really turn him down. She's just kind of like, not right now.
When I come back, yeah.
Yeah. So like that could be a cool little spin-off.
Yeah.
Get some Leon Darlene, like weird combination of hacking and like
Killing.
mercenary action.
Yeah.
Stabbing and shooting.
Yeah. And then like I guess you could do something regarding like what the Dark Army does after this. Because again, same episode when Darlene
They're all dead.
or Dom runs into Irving in the bookstore, which
Yep.
by the way, best random pop-up
Loved it.
appearance,
Loved
standing
it.
right by his cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
So amazing. He finished his book. But yeah, he tells Darlene, he's like, yeah, we don't care about you guys anymore. Like we're done. We're off to different things. And I'm like, oh, what different things? I mean, Nick shoots it down right away, says they all killed themselves because
They're
they blame
probably
White Rose so
hiding.
much, but yeah.
No,
what-
they literally left to go to this other dimension with White Rose. That's why she killed herself. Like,
But
yeah,
Irving didn't.
Irving's just a gun for
He's-
hire. He's not
yeah.
gonna
He's
sign
done.
up for that.
Yeah.
He's just like Leon. Like he can dip anytime. He's got his own stuff going on.
He just finished the book.
Yeah, he
I love how
was
he's
off the
like-
hook there.
It's like, let me autograph that for you. By the way, you got to pay. You got to buy this. Hey, she's
Yeah.
gotta pay for
It
this.
dates her.
gotta-
Yeah.
I love it.
And then
Darlene's
he's
like,
I love he
"And you
tells the
bought it?"
cashier, like, hey,
Yeah,
she's got to pay for this.
Yeah.
Darlene's like, you actually bought it? He's like, yeah, she said I had to because he signed it. Ouch.
Yeah. So the only new character we got this season was Janice, Irving 2.0. But this is kind of like
hated her.
Big
so
Lots
bad.
Irving. Like,
yeah,
Big lots.
not the great. I mean, she was crazy.
she's
and,
ruthless. Yeah, I love that.
I
about
loved
Yeah.
like the introduction of her.
Yeah.
Her mom invites her over to dinner to try to hook her up with Dom, and then she's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm your new handler. I'll kill you if you don't
Right.
go into work.
I'll
tomorrow."
kill your
So-
whole family. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, she, handful of episodes bit the dust in the video if you saw earlier.
Her conclusion, the conclusion of Janice was one of my favorite moments, I think.
I agree.
Just Dom,
Dom's
like,
a ninja,
dude,
Just being a
man.
badass.
she's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
so good.
always get annoyed when people do like over the shoulder no look shots though. So like I was all for it until she's like gets the guy behind her, and I was like,
No, dude. No,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
That was
All right.
sweet.
That's
That was
the most unbelievable thing you've seen in this
not
show.
Yeah, I
unbelievable.
was gonna
It's just
say,
it's
that's
just lame.
Oh, it's lame.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, man. I gotta be
Yeah,
honest
it
with
was
you.
dope.
Yeah.
She did an Achilles knife.
Yeah.
pulled the
headshot.
knife out of her lung
Yeah.
to kill the dude, to grab his gun,
Shoot him, shoot her.
and then shoot the guy behind
There's
her.
3 people.
Yeah,
Three.
There's two
Yep.
two Dark Army guys. Yeah.
Yep.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, she got the guy against the wall, then got Janice, then got the poor Achilles guy.
So good.
But Tyrell had no hope, so he just walked off into the nothingness.
He just
Yeah.
Girl got stabbed in the lung.
Oh, jeez. So do you guys know what my favorite episode is? Were you able
7.
to guess?
7.
7? Yeah.
What happens in 7?
It's the
It's
the
the
Vera Fiat.
Oh my God.
Very like
Vera
stage
the
play
goat, dude.
episode.
Yeah.
My
so
spirit animal.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah. I love that episode, dude. It really it kind of it's got like a Hateful Eight vibe going on there because they're
The
like all
acts.
trapped in the different acts, and they're all trapped in there.
So good.
Love that episode. Maybe top 3 episodes of the show for me. So good, dude. And as soon as I saw it, at first I was like, 4 is probably my favorite episode in the season. I thought 4 was freaking phenomenal.
The one without dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude,
it's
And I
awesome.
love how they
So
start it
good.
and how they end it. It's perfect. Darlene, what does she say? Oh no, this is episode
It's 5.
5.
Episode 5. I apologize.
She
yeah.
starts out and she's just like, "It's cool, dude. We don't have to talk."
Yeah.
No
Yes.
talking from that
No
point
talking
forward.
the whole time, dude. So
And
good.
then there are a lot of like little cool Easter egg things in that episode, like Dom texts Janice, can't talk.
Yeah.
Literally.
The songs, I only wrote down one, but the episode ends with Silent Night. But before that, one of the songs that's playing is about silence and like not speaking. And then it ends with Vera being like, "Hey, it's time we talk."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good,
It's
dude.
like, come on, that's so
so
good.
well done. And that could
Next
be,
level.
that could have easily been like a gimmicky episode if they
Sure.
did it wrong, and it doesn't come across like that. It's dude, I don't know that I've ever seen an episode of the show where there's no dialogue that's that tense. You know what I mean?
I know,
the
right?
whole episode is tense.
The Walking Dead, they didn't do it the entire episode, but for a really long, maybe it was the entire episode, but I want to say it was like a 10-minute thing, like to open up an episode, like an extended opening of an episode, but everything was silence, just like this,
yeah,
which I thought was really cool. But to like take that up a notch and do an entire episode like this is just
sure.
another thing. But I think while it didn't come off gimmicky, I mean, this episode needed a gimmick like this though to make it interesting, because it's like your standard espionage.
fare,
Like,
yeah.
okay, this would not have been as interesting of an episode of like, okay, they got to break into this thing and like do this hack that we've seen like 40 times in this series and like every other hacking show. But to like add that extra kind of like artsy layer on it of pulling off something like no talking at all in the entire episode, and still, like you said, be able to make it like super tense.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think the cool thing about it kind of happens each season, the episodes become more themed, right? Because like season 4, like they're all kind of super themed outside of like a handful that are just kind of moving the plot along. So we had a lot of just like plot moving ones where they're just kind of leaving us breadcrumbs, especially like season 1, if you think about it, is just kind of like your standard TV show with like episode to episode trying to figure stuff out. And really the only
Mhm.
like themed one is like the finale or like penultimate one with the, Mr. Robot reveal.
Mhm.
Season 2 gets a little bit more like that. And then like season 3, like I was like, there are some really good episodes in season 3. And then watching this season, I'm like, there are some killer episodes in this season that really just kind of knock it out of the park. And they're like every other episode because you have like 5, 7. Yeah, it's like almost every other episode. It's just like cruising.
Oh, yeah.
Man. I mean, and it even starts out cool because first episode you get the like
Dude, what a
previous
way.
season recap, and then
Yeah.
it just continues, and there's
How-
no break of
how's you
like,
guys-
okay, this is the start of the episode.
Are we still watching a recap? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, did that throw you guys?
It did at first.
Oh, dude, yeah. What a hell of a way to open the season, bro, with killing Angela. Like that's one of the coolest
Well,
openings.
Yeah, and I think on my first watch, I literally thought that was the recap. I went back to the finale and was like, did I not finish it?
Right. Yeah.
And then I watched it and it just like ended there. I'm like, what the? And then I rewatched.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Because like the music just goes and trails and
It
then
just
cuts.
continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it
yeah.
cuts right when they finish that dialogue, extended dialogue in that moment. And then Price is walking up the hill and then the music cuts and then pew
Yep.
pew.
Yeah. Rip Angela.
I remember
Um,
thinking, like, seeing his panic. Like, I was like, oh, maybe there is something more to this White Rose thing. And, like, it kind of, like, pushed
Oh.
my desire for the theory of the whole time travel thing and seeing the Hadron Collider and, like, oh, man, this would be sick. Like, there's something really going on here.
No, we're just gonna kill Angela.
Yeah.
Just gonna kill Angela.
Yeah.
And like straight up like execution style.
He's like, I wish you wouldn't have said that. It's not too
Yeah.
late.
And-
Take it back.
And for being arguably a very main character in the show, she's like blurred in the background getting murdered. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like it's so you're focused on Price the whole time. So yeah,
Yep.
dude, it's just a cool way to open. And to go to your, I know you were just talking about the music running into the scene. The music in this season is freaking on point.
Dude.
All the songs are so
the
good,
last
dude.
Perfect.
couple episodes, whenever there was like some crazy stuff going on, like I don't know how to describe it. Maybe you guys can understand, but just like the crazy like droning of the synths, especially in 12 and 13, like
So good, dude.
so good.
So
Oh my
love it.
gosh, I listen
Well,
to the soundtrack pretty frequently, just the Mac Quill like OST stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, that's one of
Awesome.
my favorite
Yeah.
favorite things about the entire show. It's just like both the use of like both the cutting in and out of music like really sharply, but also just like the abrasive noise patterns that
Mhm.
it often employs.
Yeah.
I love that about this show in general.
yeah, and the few episodes, I mean, like the actual songs that they pick too, that aren't like OST, are
So good.
so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
But also, a couple times, maybe definitely 2, maybe 3, but for sure 2. The use of like very theatrical music, like old school like drama movies.
They
talking
did that in
like
7.
like decades back. The entire music for episode 7
Yep.
is so great. And then the other time that immediately pops in my head is the episode where Darlene, like when Darlene first comes back to Elliot and they're hanging out and they watch that cheesy horror movie.
Mhm.
They use that same like cheesy theatrical music in that episode, but like their use of it is so good. And it just, yeah, we talk about music a lot in gaming and shows and movies, but like
It makes it,
this
man.
show
On point. Yeah.
Yeah.
can't do anything wrong. It literally checks like every box. It's crazy.
Yep.
5 out of 5.
But yeah, so we meet Janice in episode 1, like we talked about. I loved how episode 2 starts out with exposition from Price about the Deus group, explaining White Rose, and you have like BD Wong's face like edited into like
Every
meetings
video.
of like world meet leaders and all that stuff. I thought was really cool. what'd you think of? I mean, Price's turn was pretty evident after they murdered Angela, but like, what did you guys think of one, Price coming in and reviving Elliot? I think after the end of episode 1. By the way, the guy who ODs him, that's Sam Esmail, the
Sure
creator
is.
of the show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
so
Okay,
it's great
cool.
when he comes in. He's like, "Goodbye, friend."
Yeah.
I saw a funny part of the blooper reel with that scene, and they were telling him not to blink for some reason, and he was like, "Goodbye, friend." He's like, "You're blinking. Stop blinking."
Yeah, dude, blinking is so weird too, because when you think about it, like
You
now
do it
I'm
more,
just
yeah.
hyper aware of
Now you're
every
gonna
time
be
I
thinking,
blink,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, to answer your question, Price kind of redeemed himself a little bit this season for me. When we left the 3rd season, I think I said I hated him and I was all White Rose, but I really started to feel for him in this season. It was probably with the opening of them murdering his daughter right in front of him. Which
Price a
I guess,
legend, man.
yeah. I mean, I think that especially his death scene, he's just badass. Like in this season,
Yeah.
dude, it's
His
just
exit
it's awesome.
monologue is great.
So
She
good.
ran out of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
just the
good.
best line.
When I was making that video, I'm like, I gotta keep that in there because it's just so freaking epic.
And I love how he calls back to something he told White Rose before. He's like, I don't have to win. I just want you to lose.
So good, yeah.
And so you get it again there.
Because that's when he tells White Rose he wants the Deus group all to meet, and he's like, this is not how this game is played. He's like, see, there's that word, like that's the thing right there. Just ran out of time.
And I can't remember. So did they make an obvious nod to Donald Trump in that Deus group? There's a dude that looks. Okay. I didn't know if that was an obvious poke at it or what, but
yeah, the big
that episode was super cool.
Yeah,
that hack was awesome and super tense, and
so
I loved
tense.
I loved the greatest wealth redistribution in the history of the world happening the next episode with Dom and Darlene.
She was breaking the law.
Yeah.
Dom is so bent out of shape.
So bent out of shape. Such a Girl Scout.
So when Darlene's like standing in the crowd at the fence gate and she's clearly got like her phone like in hacker mode, like someone in real life would have called out like, yo, this chick's doing something on her phone. Like she's hacking them.
Oh man. Let's see. The episode 3, we get White Rose's backstory. That was
very
with the blood
interesting,
man.
Dude.
Yeah. It's right in the gut.
That's the whole start of her project. The whole
Yep.
reason, right? Rip Chen. That was brutal. But then we get the callback to the season 3 post-credit scene of the return of Vera, which can we talk about Vera? Because he is Vera. Like
so good.
Favorite character number 2.
Animal.
Yeah.
Irving and then Vera. Did you guys, I mean, obviously you saw him coming back because we showed you the post-credit scene and you watched the post-credit scene, but did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine Vera would be so important in this show?
No. I remember saying, I hope this guy doesn't come back.
Yeah. I mean,
because he's just trouble.
Yeah.
He's trouble and he killed Shayla.
Yeah.
Shayla.
I thought he was going to come back and just be the bad guy of the season, or one of the bad guys of the season. But I was happy to see him back because I loved Vera in season 1 is when he exits.
He did
so he's great. The actor's great. He's got some freaking great quotes in that episode too. The freaking pink powder red blood mixed with titty milk quote is like up there for me, and there's a lot of really good quotes in the show.
Everything that he says in his since his return, like the dialogue in the post-credit scene is beautiful, is like just amazing, pure gold. And then it's episode 6 and 7, right? Because episode 6 is the story of the bully, right?
Yeah.
Where he's just talking to Krista, and then episode 7 is when Elliot is there, right?
Because it's like end of 5, End of
Oh,
5,
yeah.
he gets picked up by them. Then 6 is the whole Krista situation, and then Elliot basically arrives, and then all of 7 is the 4 acts of the undoing of Elliot.
I love his story, by the way. The
That-
bully.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I would like to think I would just like engage with a therapist too, where it's be like I would just tell these stories, and then like they would like think they're like figuring things out and be like, whoa, that was just like a part of the story to tell a different story.
It's like
the little
Miss
bitch and the
Krista,
bully.
you bitch.
Yeah.
She gets like all like, oh no, what did I do?
Oh no, what did I say? I'm gonna die here.
But, yeah, I love the turn of that though, where he's like, no, see, you're my aluminum bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the bat. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
It's like, yeah.
And then of course episode 7 is just
Gold.
just oh man, it is so good.
So one thing real quick about that episode, I was watching a video about that. They actually filmed that in not in TV ratio, but
the
cinema.
aspect ratio.
I thought it looked I thought it had
like
a
the
different
Hateful
frame
Eight.
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's very reminiscent, and Hateful Eight is reminiscent of another something else. But so I don't want to say that it ripped off Hateful Eight, because Hateful Eight ripped off its original premise. But I definitely vibing with that, and I love Hateful Eight. I love the setup of it. I would watch every movie that came out with just people trapped somewhere together for an extended period of time, broken into acts with murder and mystery in between.
Yeah.
I just love when like they're really getting like that is both like such a hard scene to watch when they're really getting into the therapy session at the end, but also Vera where he's like, yes, he's like, we're getting it, like we're getting to the details.
But then like Vera becomes like Elliot's rock in a way.
I feel like he genuinely wanted to help him.
Yeah, that's the thing about Vera is like that he is a genuine person, but he's also like a psycho meth head.
Yeah, like, see, I don't know that I felt like he genuinely wanted to help him. I think he genuinely wanted to break him so that he could build him back up to use him. I don't think he
use him.
You know what I mean? It's just to use him. I don't think he had any
helping
feelings
him
for him.
Vera,
right.
Like
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That scene though of Vera like supporting him, like helping him like stand mentally right, was so good and like super touching. And then Krista's just got to kill the vibe, like very literally.
The crazy thing about that is Elliot saw her coming and did not react. He did not change his look or anything. I mean, he could have been shocked about just realizing what happened to him.
Right.
But I mean, you would have at least looked, you know?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
He might not even noticed. Like she might just came clean up behind him and just
ninja style. Yeah.
What
he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
Death scene too. Like so good.
The blood.
Vera.
I just love his little goons that come and get him, and they're like, "Dude, get his wallet. What are you doing?" Like they're just dipping. Just get his wallet. Let's dip.
But like you become the storm. Like you are the storm.
Yeah.
That it's crazy. The storm that was actually going on outside, was building up as the tension rose within Elliot, which was so beautifully done.
Yeah.
So good.
Every detail, man. It's very detailed. Hands down my favorite episode of the entire series. It's just for the content that was in it, but like also how it was presented and how it was written and played out. It's just But back
in the very odd way you look at Mr. Robot from there forward, even though it's like it wasn't Mr. Robot, but like it's like the image of his dad, which is like weird.
Right.
Just gross.
You're like, how are you gonna show Mr. Robot again after that? Like,
right.
So that whole thing, what happens there, the story that pans out, like the pictures we see earlier, is that Elliot and Mr. Robot, not Elliot and his dad? Is that what they're implying?
Like the movie
and like
scene?
Going to the movies and all that
flashbacks,
stuff.
In the finale, they re-show some of those.
They show him sitting in
Elliot by himself, and that was Mr. Robot
Right.
playing the part of his dad, so you can just assume anything. We've never even seen his dad.
His dad,
in the
right?
Well,
show.
I think
Yeah,
the
I
movie.
thought.
I think the movie was with his dad because his dad died.
Well, no,
No.
because they answer that one because they show Ellie. Well, at
Unless-
least they answer one movie that they went to together, I suppose. But
Unless he died in that, and then Elliot just went and watched
Still
the movie
went into the
anyways.
movie. Yeah.
With
yeah,
That's
but it's
that's
also
how I
like
took it.
if you look back to, it might be the first time that they go to the movie, like the dad picks out Pulp Fiction. Like no dad in the right mind's going to take their kid to Pulp Fiction. So it's obvious in my head that it's Elliot picking out the movie and going by himself with his
point.
buddy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it's interesting that we learn like the first personality was created when he jumped out the window, as opposed to like what you kind of think when that first movie scene happens the first time, where you think like, oh, obviously it was his dad dying, where
Yeah.
he was like, okay, that's where the protector comes in, right?
yeah,
But yeah, wild stuff. Episode 4 was another contender of like just a really great episode. I loved the Darlene drunken Santa like
so
trip
good, yes,
happening
so good.
in tandem with Tyrell and Elliot trying to get rid of the Dark Army van and body, and then they're
Yeah.
like walking through the woods.
This is up there for me. This is probably top 3 episode too, which is weird because maybe top 3 are all in this season. But this is very. There's an episode of The Sopranos where they go to dump a body and the dude's not actually dead, and they get lost in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey in the winter, and it's very reminiscent of this episode. So I loved this through and through, and then the Santa stuff was just so good, dude.
Oh,
Like,
I
that
love
whole
the
storyline, so good.
I love at the end when when she finally tells him what's wrong, and he's like, okay. And then
Okay.
he just
Yeah.
walks inside. I was dying. I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. But then he comes back out. But still, I was just like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great episode, man. Great
Okay.
episode. It's just the ending, or not the ending, but the Tyrell thing. I just like left way more questions that weren't ever
Yeah.
answered. So
Yeah, like I said, this like restoked the Tyrell personality thing, and I don't know, man. I'm starting to lean towards.
there's got to
Maybe
be a
what?
video somewhere out there
Maybe
where
what?
someone breaks all this.
We
all
just
this
need to
crap
get
down.
Sam to come on the show. He's not doing
Yeah.
anything anymore.
Right,
Just be like, look, it's been 4 years. Can you just
Dude.
tell us?
dude. I guarantee you, no matter what you do to that dude, he won't, because The Sopranos also had a very controversial ending, and he has not come out. It's been freaking 10, 15 years. He has not
Yeah.
come out to say what happened. So
What show?
The
Sopranos.
Sopranos.
Oh,
I remember a lot of people being pissed about the ending of that.
Oh, dude, it's wild.
I think it's just like a thing.
Yeah.
Whenever a show ends that people love it, and they'll find. I mean, some deserve it, but a lot are like,
This one's close.
I
Sopranos
feel
very
like that
close.
one was very close because that's
It's
kind of
very
like
close. You guys, neither of you, have you seen The Sopranos, Dad? No.
no.
Oh,
I've just heard about the ending.
we're gonna
Well,
have to slap
Throwback
that
Thursday,
on
all
we're gonna have
16
to slap it.
seasons or
oh,
whatever.
jeez.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's only
or about 2024, I guess.
Yeah, but isn't there like
Let's
20?
do that
How many
every other
seasons
week
is
for-
there?
there's only 7.
But there's 20 episodes a season, and they're full
N-
hour
no.
bangers.
No.
You're trying to talk your
look
way
it
out
up.
of it.
Yes, he is for sure.
Dude,
Dude,
it's
geez.
literally, if we're gonna do Breaking Bad, we can't not do The Sopranos. Breaking Bad would not exist without The Sopranos. Fact.
Mm.
Wow.
Interesting.
Hot
Interesting.
take.
All right.
So we talked about episode 5 being the silent episode, which was super cool. That's probably number 4 if I had to make a top 5 episode list. Episode 6 was just brutal with Olivia and what happened there with the Cypress Bank hack, and Elliot just
Conning
becoming
her.
absolutely ruthless, drugging her coffee or whatever, and then she pays on her statement to Elliot the last episode she was in, where he finds the razor blades in her pill bottle. That was just
That was rough.
so brutal. And she's like, I might work for monsters, but you
are
are
a
one.
monster.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
ouch.
But I do like the way they set that all up, because it's really like Mr. Robot starts hitting on her. It's not Elliot wanting to do that. So, but yeah, dude, it's just really screwed up to freaking drug somebody to get them to fail a drug test so they can't get their kid. Like, that whole storyline is
blackmailing them to
Yeah.
So brutal.
so brutal.
And I thought there was actually something there for a minute.
Yeah,
You know,
so
like
did I,
kind of
right.
hopeful for it.
Yeah,
Dude, that's why the whole image switcheroo makes so much sense.
Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. We'll get through the last few notes I have on the remaining episodes, and I'd like to talk about that. I found a Reddit thread today about Mr. Robot actually being the mastermind and Elliot being the protector. So we'll get into that. It's cool. It's a cool theory. Episode 8, we saw Janice. She fell finally. Rest in peace, or not. But I loved. How'd you guys feel about the Irishman twist?
That was awesome.
yeah, that was really cool.
That's
I
good.
love that. I love the whole scene of them kidnapping Dom's family, and the music in that scene is so good too. It's like some cheery Christmas song while they're busting into the
And
house.
the little boy was in the front room. It's like, Mom,
Yeah.
Mom. And
You're right.
shut
Yeah.
up.
But he got in trouble. Yeah,
exactly.
it's so good. Yeah.
I loved how he talked to Janice too on the phone
Yeah.
while he's explaining
It's
everything.
hilarious. Yeah.
Like, I don't care who you are. You're
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what did I write down? I didn't write down what he said to her, but it was hilarious. Yeah, and then basically episode 7 and 8 explain the crux of the entire series. Stemming from the creation of his DID and the trauma he experienced from his father. I'm curious, since we're talking about this right now. Now that you know what's happened and what's really going on, do any scenes or lines of dialogue stick out to you guys of like, oh, that's what that meant? Or like they literally laid the entire thing out in this episode or whatever? Because I can think of one right off the top of my head. Season 2, basically the first 5 minutes of season 2 conversation with Leon, where he talks about George being, they're all stuck in the garage or whatever, and like they can't get out or something along those lines. And then of course you have like the whole prison visual that's happening, but like literally explains the entire series right there. Like Elliot's stuck in the garage prison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Did anything stick out to you guys at all, or not really?
I think the
Not
second
for me,
watch
yeah.
that stuff becomes more apparent. And in the finale, they flash like some of those lines by him, especially when Elliot monologues, right? When he talks about, they hit like 4 things he says throughout the series that now have a whole different context, where he's explained the mask he puts on and, the monster and all those different things.
Mhm.
And then you're like, huh, he kind of, monologues
Hints at
about
it,
exactly what he's doing to himself, I guess.
Yeah, I think at least for me, it would definitely come on a second watch, picking that stuff back up. Like, there's just so much going on a first watch of this that
Yeah.
thinking back that far to a single line in episode or season
Yeah.
1 is rough.
And to your point about like the whole White Rose like fake out, right? Just the whole Night King, just unclimatic ending.
Yeah.
On a second watch, you kind of, while it's like fun to kind of like pay attention to that stuff, because like you just know they're like misdirecting you, so it's fun to kind of watch how they misdirect you. But it's also nice just to be able to block that out, because you're like, literally none of that matters, really.
Right. Yeah.
So it does help focus on like, what is Elliot doing this whole time?
Yeah.
And like
But-
those key characters.
I think what makes it a little different from the Night King and the White Walkers and stuff is
It's
like
definitely different.
like we talked about in that series, out of the 8 seasons, they had like 3 episodes worth of content or whatever.
Right.
But like
yeah.
at least this storyline, while it wasn't like the main point of the story, it was a very large part of the story. And like
Yeah.
the hack, the redistribution, like White Rose's machine, like that all was real and
Yeah.
existed and happened and was important in the context of like the world outside of Elliot. But like it wasn't like the point of the story.
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
like the White Walkers and the Night King, like you just wanted more.
Yeah,
And
true.
with it being talked up as being like the big threat, it never was expanded upon as the big threat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely see the comparison there though.
I would say they kind of set it up right in the beginning when he goes after that dude in the coffee shop.
Ron.
Why? I mean, there's a very clear connection why he would do that, knowing now after seeing episode 7,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's going after someone that hurts kids. So yes,
Right. Yeah.
for that very specific thing.
Yeah.
So like it's in his mind. He doesn't know why he's doing it, other than just to be a vigilante hacker. But
well, no,
somewhere back there.
Well, that goes back to the Reddit thread we'll get into. But yeah, if you guys, I mean, I wouldn't expect you guys to rewatch it already, but if you were to rewatch
I'm going to
like soonish with this still fresh in your mind, it's wild how different the show is. And it's not just because like, oh, you pick up on a line here or there, but it's the fact that they don't hide it from you at all. They just do it in a way in context of everything that like you just kind of don't pay attention to it because there's so much other stuff going on.
There's so much going on.
But you notice that like every detail is so important and things that you would think are just throwaway or like something on the wall, like the barn or whatever, as silly as that is. I mean, it's not like a huge thing, but like the fact that he stares at this picture, talks about it for like 10 seconds, and then it's like a pivotal moment in season 3. It's just like little details like that. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like nothing goes, no inch of screen or line of dialogue goes to waste in the show.
Everything's intentional. Like everything they do is intentional. I love it.
Yeah, and I love how you summarize what I say in like one sentence.
Yeah,
because I could have just said that.
Everything's intentional.
You're welcome.
We need
be concise, Mike.
Need to have Dad on just to be my like interpreter.
Yeah.
What Mike means is this.
Yeah. 5 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
Recap, Dad. But Mike, you and I, we were messaging about this like all the way back in like season 1. If you pay attention to what they say in the show more than what they show you, you can follow along with like what's happening, because the dialogue and the things they say are pretty spot on. Like they're just kind of explaining everything to you, just like the Leon thing. Like the things they say and the things I was talking about in these scenes where you're like, the dialogue might seem empty. The dialogue is just kind of explaining the context of everything, but what they're showing you is like all the complete misdirection, like all the craziness that's going on around them. But if you just remember the dialogue episode to episode, it's all right there.
And the cool thing about that is like they're not just showing you all this crazy stuff to like throw you off and be wacky and weird. It like makes sense in the story. Like that's literally what Elliot is seeing and like constructing around him because of his DID. Like that's what he does, especially if we take this Elliot that's out as the mastermind. I don't know. It's crazy.
I think that's why it's important to like remember that still mostly everything we saw on the show really happened. So like they didn't take that from you at the end and be like, oh no, it was all just in his head, right?
Well, right, because
all that crazy stuff was real. Like all that was wildly real.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't in every single scene. Like stuff still happened,
right?
Yep.
Like the whole part in season 3 with the the building that Angela's in.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that whole one-shot video.
The E-Corp
E-Corp.
raid
Yeah.
scene.
That stuff was all right.
That
Yeah.
happened.
Yep.
All 71 buildings blowing up, like all this crazy stuff happened, and they don't take that away from you by faking you out with it. Like you said, Mike, everything that they show you is real and important. It's just the context of how you're kind of moving through it.
Just has Elliot's filter over top of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Episode 9, we have the Deus group meeting, super intense. White Rose puts like the theories to bed once and for all because she legitimately just straight up tells Elliot her grand plan, like no more beating around the bush or alluding to it. She's just like, no, this is what I'm doing, bro. We're gonna like change the world because we're gonna change reality itself. Loved Price in this episode. This was when he meets his demise. I just love how he's just he became, like he talked about, you know, he just wanted to be the most powerful man in the room. Like even in his weakest, what appeared to be his weakest moment of the series, he became the most powerful man in the room over White Rose or Zhang or whatever.
Through his alignment with Elliot, he was betting, gambling for sure, right? Because like he was saying, because White Rose was like, what is happening? Like, tell me. He's like, I really have no idea, but I just know if this goes how I want it to, you're gonna lose. And that's all I care about.
and that was enough for him. That was a win for him.
Right.
Yeah. And I love like they just literally robbed the Deus group. They took all their money. Because I mean, hey, you want to stop someone? Take away their course of making things happen.
Take their money.
And once again, like another hack sequence, but there's so many layers that they had to get through on that hack to pull it off that it was still cool to watch, because like they had to get the cell phone tower access, they had to get all their phones going, and how to get all their phones going, like make them leave the building, call their drivers, yada yada. So like the way it all just kind of came together, it wasn't like some magic, just convenient plot, loop where it's just like, oh, I got it. I got the one thing I need. Where it's like, no, you got it. Everyone's got to pick up their phone and make a call.
The layers.
I'm telling you guys, like, I don't know how much extra Mr. Robot content you guys want, but I mentioned like in our first episode, if you want to hear a great episodic breakdown, listen to the Mr. Roboto podcast. That was what gave me the idea of doing companion series. I listened to it as
they pulled that song out in this season too, didn't they?
Did.
Mr. Roboto?
Yes.
Yep.
But one of the people that comes on, I think maybe in season 2 of the podcast, but definitely seasons 3 and 4, is a cyber engineer, basically Elliot. And that's his job. He goes and hacks things to help make them secure, and he would verify every hack that they did, and they're like, he's like, yep, that's legit.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And so like really cool. You know how like Dexter got heat for like, oh, this is like a cop being a serial killer and like showing people how to get away with killing people. I thought about that a lot with this show. Far less severe, right? You're not getting away with literal murder, but they're just like straight up like, yep, this is how you do this.
How you do it.
Yeah. And it actually is done like this. Which I thought is pretty cool, but also like a little concerning.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely cool because there's not a lot, especially with hacker stuff, but especially with like medical stuff in movies and shows. Like you can tell they just don't have a guy on set that knows what the hell they're doing. Like the oxygen mask is always on wrong. It's not put on that way. You would think Hollywood would get it by now that it does not go around into your nose and then around your head. It goes around your neck. So it's like,
we're lucky if they can figure out how many bullets are in a typical magazine.
Right.
So don't expect them to be doctors. Can't even expect them to.
Chad, I feel like you should pursue a career as a medical advisor consultant. Or like, emergency response consultant.
Yeah, dude, it really drives me crazy. It really does sometimes.
That would be a pretty rad job.
Yeah,
Just be
for
like,
sure.
no,
Just
I
like,
get what you guys
actually,
are trying to
that's
do,
wrong.
but you
Yeah.
should do it like this.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. I mean, you just need like a little bit of understanding of just like the core things, just to correct like Hollywood on like most of the issues.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't take much.
Like
Like you
guns,
can probably
like,
pick
need to
someone off the
reload.
street.
You
Yeah,
need to reload guns.
Reload guns.
Just count how many times they shot.
Right. The nasal cannula does not go around the head. It goes around
Yeah.
the neck. Thank you.
Just put it up here. Like
Yep.
that's all you gotta do. Fix it. Like
Yeah.
easy fix.
Right. And it's always funny too, because when you put it on that way, like it rides up. So it's always like covering the actor's eyes. It's like if you just put it on, you could actually have your actor's face in frame. That'd be great, right?
Oh geez. So
It's like they don't care. They're just, we're gonna do it
Yeah.
this way. We don't care.
but it's
care if
little
it's right.
things like that really though that like take you
Matter.
out, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that
Takes
doesn't
some
look right.
people
And then
out.
you're like, now you're
Unless
not
you
paying
don't
attention to
know.
what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so episode 10, we get questionable food decision number 2 of the series. Dom makes a grilled cheese with mayonnaise
Dude.
instead of butter.
Okay. I've heard of that. I've
Mhm.
heard of that, and I've always wanted to try it, and supposedly it's good.
No, that's the thing. Yeah.
But
What?
her saying that is the perfect grilled cheese, that thing is burnt beyond
That looked
recognition.
rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is wrong. And not only that, but
Dude.
like I don't know how you guys feel about the individually sliced like Kraft like plastic cheese.
No, not here for it.
No.
I know a lot of people.
There are a lot of mistakes in the
Very.
sandwich.
A lot. Way too high of heat. She put
Yeah.
the mayonnaise what
There's
looked
no way
like
that
only in
cheese
the middle.
melts with that high of heat because your bread's gonna burn first.
Right. Exactly.
And we all know plastic cheese doesn't melt anyways. So
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people have deep ties to the Kraft singles. It's just not. It's not for me.
yeah, they're
and the
also gonna
grilled
have
cheese.
deep ties to cancer in like 30
Yeah.
years.
Two things. You can totally use mayonnaise. Same
Yes.
difference.
True.
Secondly, there's a really dope picture on my Instagram of that cheese melted perfectly over some sloppy Joe. So don't tell me that shit don't melt.
No, it definitely melts. I think that's why people are tied to it. It definitely melts because it's plastic and plastic melts.
But
But
it takes a little longer than real
Very
cheese.
form fitting too,
it's
right?
yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I
What do you
just
use?
loved her dialogue. Cheddar all day, shredded.
Yeah.
You
cheddar
mean like
all
shredded
day.
cheddar?
Oh
Yeah.
no. I still use
You have to
sliced,
shred
but I
it.
use the good like
Oh, you're wrong.
the nice quality sliced like cheddar yellow.
No.
Oh
No,
yeah.
you gotta shred it. Trust me, it'll
Shred
change
it.
your it will change your grilled cheese game. I assure you. None of the pre-grated crap. Shred it yourself. Be a man.
Whoa.
Wow.
I like it.
The
I
reason
like
for
it.
that
I
is
like
because
that.
the pre-grated stuff has stuff in it like anti-caking stuff that kind of
Yep.
prevents it from melting. So
Yeah.
Anyway, we're really
I like
going
where
on a
you're going with
tangent
that.
about grilled
Yeah.
cheeses.
I wasn't
Speaking
really
of melting-
talking
Wish
about.
we had a producer to reel us back in.
I would
here.
Right.
totally.
Yeah.
I would totally try the shredded cheese on a grilled cheese. I was just talking about cheese in general. If I'm going to use a slice of cheese, it's going to be like Land O'Lakes yellow cheddar.
Land O'Lakes, is that considered like a high quality? They make fucking butter. I didn't even know they made cheese.
Hey man,
Where you get that
can't beat it.
Walmart?
It's good, dude. No, heck no, I don't get it from Walmart. Man, I'm insulted.
The dollar store.
I'm insulted.
Now that we've
Discount drug mart. No, I'm just
diverged
kidding.
Yeah.
into melting cheese.
All right.
Apparently-
Anyway,
Hey,
anyway,
I work
Nope,
at a
nope,
cheese
nope.
place.
Wait.
Do
hang
you?
on, Nick's
Work
got a
it.
story.
why have
Jesus
we never
Christ.
been given cheese?
Anyway,
Work at a cheese factory?
the wife made me make this because she saw it on TikTok. But you take like shredded cheese,
Okay.
throw that shit in a pan, cook it, fry it, whatever, till it gets like starts to get crispy. Slap a pickle in there, then roll it up.
You have
Huh.
a weird affinity for pickles, anyways, but I think I
You-
would try that.
You've lost all of us.
No. I would try that.
I think I'd be in for that. Yeah.
Because the cheese, okay, so
Cheese is
we
like
didn't
super heavy and rich, and you get the little acidy pickle.
the way I
love it.
toasted the cheese, it was like some sort of like cheddar Gouda or something that we had. It wasn't like the right cheese, but it was what was in the drawer. But it was basically like a Tostito, like taco shell by the time I was done with it, and it
Oh,
was like a shell of
yes.
cheese, and then just like
Oh.
pickle in the middle.
I can't. I can't.
So
I think
we're
it's
gonna-
but it's the pickle
throwing
throwing him off, right? It's the pickle in the middle that's throwing you off, not the cheese shell. Or is it the cheese shell?
It's combined.
It's the combination.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'll do a fried pickle.
fried
It's
pickles
kind
are
of like a
good.
fried pickle, but instead of bread, it's cheese.
Yeah,
I can't.
sounds great.
I can't.
You know what else is
moving
great?
on.
All right, so now we've totally derailed this.
You know what else
into-
is great
We're
is
gonna be like a
Mr.
foodie
Robot.
podcast
Yeah.
now, but like not fancy food, but like poor people fancy food.
Disgusting food.
Hey,
Disgusting
go into our Discord.
combinations.
Go
We
into our
have a channel,
Discord.
What's
I got
Cooking,
Chipotle
just
hack
saying.
I posted today.
You did. You did.
Pop over.
Great Discord plug, Nick.
Shout out.
Perfect.
Shout out. Podcast.
No,
What are we
dude,
talking
take a
about?
jar of pickle spears, right?
Yep.
And dump a ranch powder packet in there. Let it
Whoa.
sit for like a day, and you got
What?
ranch pickles, bro. It's so good. You can do it with any kind of seasoning, but if you're a big fan of ranch,
I
telling you, dude,
saw
don't
somebody
knock
do it with Kool-Aid powder. They'll
that
put
is
Kool-Aid powder
really
in there.
freaking weird. Where
Yeah,
they were
right?
also
Try
on
that.
meth.
That sounds better
that.
than ranch.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
what
dude.
episode are we on?
Yeah. Okay. So,
10.
but okay. Do you think? Have any of you
Sliced.
tried the mayonnaise on the grilled cheese though?
Yes.
I think I did, yeah, and it was
Yeah.
pretty. I like the saltiness of the butter better personally, but
Okay.
you kind of lose that a little bit. But it works definitely.
Is
I
it
come-
crispier with mayonnaise over butter?
They say it is, but I don't know that I noticed a
think-
more crispy.
I think it depends on your pan and like heating style, but I think it does give it a little bit more buffer to kind of like heat longer
Yeah,
because
We
the
are,
butter
Hey,
is less resistant to the heat and maybe more likely to
I-
burn your Sammy. But
I-
if you got good
yeah.
skills, don't matter.
Sammy.
I mean Dom's was definitely more crispy for
it
sure.
was a lot crispy.
yeah, I don't
Like,
think that had to do with the
I
butter
just love that
versus
she
mayonnaise
called
discussion.
it. She just called it the perfect grilled cheese or something.
Yeah.
What the hell?
We're just
perfect
gonna
I
mix.
blame
suppose she
that
walked
toast.
away to answer the door and
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
left that thing cranking. I was
Yeah.
like,
We'll chalk that up to she still had a lot of medication, even though she refused medication. So I can't even use that excuse.
Right.
She's just-
She was really tired.
yeah.
I mean, she has odd ideas of like what home life is like, anyways.
Yes, yeah.
So
True.
you know,
What do
I'm
you
not
guys
gonna
think about? I
Alexa.
bet this made Chad happy. I'd
Oh,
have to
so
imagine
good. I know what you're
when
gonna say, so
Darlene
good.
absolutely
Smashed it.
shatters Alexa.
Loved it. Yeah, loved it.
That was great.
so good.
Felt
What'd
bad
you
for her.
do?
It was her only friend.
Don was so upset though.
We should have put that on the
Oh yeah,
in
rip
memoriam.
Alexa.
Yeah,
Alexa.
the Alexa.
Oh geez. Yeah, so episode 10 is the fun road trip. It's cool to have Leon back. I liked Dom's utter shock when she walks into the hotel room. She's like, "What?"
Mhm,
Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Don't
And I
tell
love
me.
how Leon's like, do we know each other?
Yeah.
He doesn't even remember.
He's like, "Oh, the barn. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun."
he does it. Yeah, he doesn't even
That was
remember the
fun.
barn.
Yeah, that was fun. Good times.
Yeah. Yeah, would you guys be down with a Darlene and Leon spinoff?
I'll take more Leon all day. I could care less about Darlene. If I just got a Leon spinoff, I'd be happy with that. Just him working odd jobs for the mafia.
I'm with Chad on that one. I can appreciate Darlene, but she's done. We'll
She's
go
kind of
with
annoying.
Leon. Leon all day.
Wow, so you guys hate women. Okay.
Well, she just
no,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
kidding.
She's always rubbing the wrong way, and she always dresses like a hooker, which I
Whoa.
find really odd as well.
Yeah, okay, Chad really hates women.
but Leon, yeah, I'm here for Leon. He's great, and we didn't get that much of him, probably because he's like a rapper, right, in real life.
He is a
Is he
rapper.
in
No, I would-
anything else?
Yeah,
don't-
I think he has
yeah.
some other stuff, but
Does
not
he?
anything
Yeah.
of note. There's another rapper in this season too.
Yeah.
There's henchman Young M.A.
Is it Peanut?
Peanut.
Peanut? Is that Peanut?
I think so.
I love how when they're walking up and talking about like Arby's and whatever Peanut is like, "Oh yeah, you don't have enough money, you can't afford this."
Yeah.
I love it. I love that stuff. But yeah, like we talked about earlier, I was so stoked to see Irving back, and his
Oh, yeah.
little cameo appearance was so funny.
Once again,
Um,
Dom thought she was about to die.
Yeah, and then she did, I think. didn't the plane crash or something? I'll have to look that up
What?
because I
You're
feel like
thinking
that was a thing.
I have
Um,
I have no recollection of
But
that.
what did you
per
guys
se.
what did you guys think of the whole like
Love it.
airport scene
So
trope
good.
That was
and
crazy.
I thought it was
subversion?
really good. Yeah, I thought it was
They
really
did
cool.
it so well.
Yeah.
So much better
Like-
than every other airport scene.
The
like
back and
that ever.
forth, like, will they, won't they make it on the plane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dom just falls asleep. And then
Yep.
it just like kind of lingers into the credits. The sound of the airplane.
Oh,
it's so
dude,
good.
they've done that a few times in the series, but I remember when Civ, he was like, "Oh, episode 10 was amazing," and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I loved the credits, like how they just kept it going." And he was like, got all concerned that he missed something. I was like, "No, I mean just the sound. They just
Just the
keep
sound.
the plane
Just the
sound.
sound.
It's so intense." Continue talking. I'm looking up something. so-
Yeah, I don't remember the plane crashing, but yeah, I did. I really enjoyed that airport. Just the fact that they were like going
Good music.
yeah, good music,
Like,
and they were
she
missing each
just
other. and
missed her. Yeah.
Just missed her. Yeah,
Yep.
so good. Yep.
It's cool.
But I literally have no memory of the plane crashing. So if that did happen,
Yes.
We're doing our job. Welcome, Chris, by the way. Thanks for coming. He says, "You guys are making my wife and I want to revisit the show." You
It's
should.
so good.
Have you only seen it once? Because if you've only seen it once, you must revisit the show.
Number 2 is at
Must.
least
Absolutely.
definitely better than the first time.
Well, because
I
yeah,
can't
you've
speak
got
for the third.
a fresh perspective.
I can't speak for the third. I
Or
haven't
the
got
fourth.
there yet.
I don't think I'm ever gonna do a third.
Yeah.
Maybe like in 10 years.
Yeah, once the new season comes out, just
The-
revisit it.
The one about the plane crash
Yeah, the one about the plane crash that Mike's talking about.
that never
Very
happened.
intently searching Google right now and coming up empty-handed because he mixed up Lost and
Yeah.
Mr. Robot.
Oh my god, that's the beginning of Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole show's about crashing airplanes.
hmm. Yeah. What?
There
well,
was
that's
just
not
a lot of references to plane crashes and things of that nature. But yeah, I'm still looking. But
That
I
would have been a
want to
good-
say that this was a thing.
That would have been a good Easter egg, like in the finale, because like in the hospital room on the TV, they were talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
the
Would've been
news.
good.
It would be also cool, like somewhere in later
Maybe it was just
episodes,
a
they
theory.
flipped in like plane crash, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many theories. I think this was just a theory, and that's why I'm getting confused.
Well, that and when you I think you like texted or something about the whole
There's so many
Leon
theories.
Darlene thing. And I was like, yeah, but they totally go separate ways, and like they don't end up like there's just that offer out there. But then Dom and her, like Dom's just gone, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The plane could have crashed for all we know.
Chris says, yes, we've only completed the show once. Yes, you must go back. It is a completely different experience in all the best ways. And it's just as entertaining because you notice the things that they've
It's a
laid
good
out in front of
show.
you. And then Chris also says, are you guys on Spotify as well? We are. We're on all the audio platforms as well as YouTube here. So thank you again for swinging by. Appreciate it. And I'm glad that we're making you want to watch the show again. But yeah, scrolling through the articles, it looks like it was just a theory. And then in those articles, I saw links to other theories that I now am remembering, not like the details of the theories, but the names of the theories. If you get a chance, look up the off by one theory. I remember that one being like real crazy and one that people thought was like really going on. But yeah, there was just a lot of like Darlene says, I'm going to go crash with my friend upstate. And there's like a Patsy Cline poster in Dom's apartment who was like a pilot who crashed in a plane or something. And there's like reference in earlier seasons of airplanes crashing. The former CEO of E Corp died in a plane crash. So all this stuff. So people were like, oh, Dom probably died in a plane crash. And it connected to the off by one theory.
And that's why Irving was there. He was setting up the plane to take a plummet.
Yeah, we don't really care about you guys.
Yeah.
That's why you're gonna die.
Anyways. But we're just covering all of our bases tonight, showing a bunch of people getting murdered by guns, executed,
Plane
unaliving
crashes.
themselves, and now we're talking about bombing planes. I mean, we're just
Yeah.
really trying our hardest to make sure nobody ever sees this episode.
Yep.
But yeah, I loved the music choice and like Dom running back into the airport and Darlene running off, and then she has that moment of growth in the bathroom where she's like, I don't need anyone. I'm fine by myself. And then
she's literally
Dom's off to Budapest.
Yeah.
With at least she's got good reading material, I guess. Episode 7 picks up right where episode 9 left off. We got, our favorite guy. No, episode 9, the Deus group thing. What are you talking about?
Said episode 7 picks up right where episode 9
episode
left
11.
Gotcha.
Picks up right where 9 ends.
You're
close enough. But we got the return of one of our favorites, Hamburger Guy. And he actually said something.
Yeah.
Yes. And he's almost done with a sandwich.
He is. Do you
Getting
think it's the
there.
same
Yeah, you're
sandwich or...
What do you say? You're in the wrong place or something like that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which again, just want to play with our minds even more about this reality time travel stuff.
Man,
I
was really hoping for that.
Man, it's just like he walks up to the plant as like the people are like fleeing after it's just got like absolutely decimated by the Dark Army. White Rose is already there. I love how Elliot didn't notice any bodies until after he like runs his little exploit thing.
Yeah.
And then he turns around, he's like, oh, everyone's dead.
Yeah.
We get the trippy like walking down the hallway, all the pictures of like the executives and stuff are all painted over.
Yep.
That game on the computer of Elliot basically playing the same game Angela did and like figuring out how to beat it. And then the interaction with White Rose was
it's so good.
So good.
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah. Dude, she's psycho.
Oh man, that whole sequence.
Don't make me laugh.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I love her character because sometimes with villains, they don't buy into their own like propaganda and like ideals fully, right? They just kind of want to be like in control. But like she was fully on board.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the way everything ends there. At the end,
she just unalives herself right there. But yeah, I love also the end of the episode just plays right into that, the theory that's been building up all along, right into her plan. He wakes up and he's just in a park and walks through the same way he came, and everything's different. It's clean. It's like a nice town.
White cars everywhere, Teslas and white Priuses.
Yeah.
Episode 12, we get we Rick and Morty situation there at the end of episode 11.
Well, I thought it was cool how the one part of one of those episodes is just fantasy, like trapped in his mind, Elliot, and then we get because I love that the redoing of the events, so like when he's in Mr. Robot's shop and he was the one that worked in the store, other end of the phone, all those things, because this reminds me of like the Third Age video game where you're kind of following along the Fellowship, but with a different party, and like the skeleton falls down the well in Moria, and that the movie's happening. Right you, I just love when they do stuff like that. Yeah. So that was really cool how they.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what did you guys think about the start of episode 13? Like with Elliot's like what seemed to be, or I guess it would be the end of 12. I don't remember which one's which, but like the seemingly shift of of Elliot's reality into like his perfect little world? Like, what was going through your minds when you got to that part?
Well, what was going through my mind personally is you said when you got to the penultimate episode that you were like, immediately, I have to rewatch this whole season because this is crazy. When
Damn,
I got
shouldn't
to
have
that
said
episode at the end, I was like, I don't understand why he wants to rewatch it because I still have no fucking clue what's going on here. Like, it doesn't explain anything. Like, I was so amped to get to that episode, and then I was like, at the end of it, I was like, I have no more information than I had going into this episode.
I got to interrupt you real quick so we can say goodnight to Chris. Thank you. He says, I got to hop off, head to bed, but I've got you guys set to auto download from here on out. Can't wait for March Madness. I'm very excited about this podcast. Well, thank you. We're very excited that you stumbled across us tonight on the YouTube, and we appreciate you. And we hope to see you back soon. Have a good sleep. But yeah, continue, Chad. Sorry.
I mean, that was
We'll just blame
the
Chris,
base.
but,
That was
yeah.
the basis of my argument. Was when I got there, I was like, what happened in this episode that would make me want to rewatch it immediately? Like, I didn't get any answers.
So, Mike, was that moment when the Elliots meet,
What?
or when you want
What
to
was the
rewatch it?
moment?
When he wakes up.
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
Because
So
they
he
meet at
walks
the end
in
of one
and
of the
Elliot
episodes.
is sitting on the computer,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, something is not right here.
Clearly.
This alternate like world reality thing is a red herring. It has to be. And like then I went through and started rewatching and started picking up on a few things here and there, and I'm like, this is interesting. What's going on here?
I got
Because
you,
like
okay.
you get like the weird earthquake things, which they kind of like play into, like maybe it's the colliding of the realities, right? Because
Right.
the explosion and then now Elliot's here, but like yeah, when they like see each other and are interacting and they get that big one, he boops his head on the radiator. I'm like, okay, this is because of them. Like something is not right here.
Yeah, because they touched right before that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then after watching the finale, I was like, okay, yeah, definitely need to rewatch this.
Yeah.
And then when you do, it's just, I'm telling you, it's everything is just laid out, and just everything has a completely different context. Like Nick said, every conversation is really about this, but
Right.
you're thinking the whole time because of the visual, like you're seeing the plan and the hack and all this stuff with E-Corp, but like that's just a secondary thing that's going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I think because, and this is where you really can chalk up bad writing versus good writing, where like a lot of times shows, just general like throwaway shows, the writing, the dialogue is, the characters are confused. Like the characters don't know anything because you're kind of like, you're supposed to be the character that doesn't know anything. So like you're watching all the screen action to really try to piece together what's really happening. But this show, it's vice versa, where the writing is all spot on to what's going on, and what's showing on screen is all the confusing stuff that is jumbled. So I think that's why like the default thing our brains do is like, oh, really cool dialogue. Gonna forget that because they're gonna show me something more important. It's like, not really. They don't show you the more important. It's equal, but the dialogue is very important.
Yeah, and the other fact is like shows will try to get those small victories in intentionally throwing you red herrings that like are unimportant and have absolutely no relevance. And the red herring in this is also like the world event that's happening. So like it's not an intentional unimportant misdirect. It is an intentional misdirect, but it's like very important to the story, which is I think what sets this show and its like trickery apart from most typical shows that are just doing it for like shock and like awe factor of like, oh, I got you guys. It's like, yeah, we did get you, but like that also is still really important.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think another thing, man, so I know I've seen it 3 times, but like this Tyrell thing is starting to click even more. His car in this world is Tyrell's car.
It's the Suburban. Yeah.
It's the SUV parked in the same spot that he wakes up after the hack.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think you're.
I'm telling you, man. I think it's there. It's all there. I bet you on a second watch through, if you're paying attention to that, there's a lot of evidence pointing to that. Because even you brought up another one, even the waking up in Tyrell's car after the hack, random, little stuff like that. So I think
Right.
it's
Why
there.
would he? Why would he be in Tyrell's car?
Why is he in Tyrell? Yeah, it makes no sense.
And where's Tyrell?
And where's Tyrell? He disappears for what, like a whole season too, right?
Yeah, and
Or
we
like
talked
half a
about
season.
the weirdness of like the cab drive and like them walking in the middle of New York downtown to get to the hideout, and literally nobody is around.
Right.
So the Reddit blurb when you Google Tyrell as Elliot tries to be very definitive with it, though. Tyrell is a different person, and the evidence it uses to like definitively show that is the fact that Tyrell exists on the board, which is reality,
The board,
the FBI
the
board,
news.
as a physically different person. So all the other personalities of Elliot
that's a good
all share
point.
the same appearance. So why would reality see two definitely different people?
Yeah.
In the same way that reality called it Evil Corp. But I mean, was that only with Elliot though? I don't know.
Right.
Every
yeah,
time
that's
it's
the
referred
other
to as
that's the
Evil
other
Corp.
layer here is there's so much stuff that is in Elliot's head that he's saying that you think is in the real world, but
Well, like the fact that like, okay, to Nick's point, when E Corp picks up, or Allsafe is hired by E Corp, Tyrell and Elliot, they work for Allsafe and E
Different
Corp,
companies.
like,
Yep.
and they're both present in the meetings and like.
But
so
yeah,
the part with Price coming to the apartment when Tyrell's beating the crap out of Elliot, and he's talking to both of them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's probably a lot of it, but like even like it might be the final scene of the show when they're overlooking the site. That's the same place where Tyrell has his like sit down with them, right? In season 1, with all the lawyers,
offers them the job.
Yeah. So like just random stuff like that. That's like, why? Where is this?
What's the significance of this?
What's the significance of that place?
Yeah. So it's all very interesting. I think there's a solid case on both sides.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about the reveal of having been in this dream world, the prison, during the morphine withdrawal? Remember when I was like, "Hey, remember this?"
Oh yeah, I do remember you pointing that. Yeah, I do remember you pointing that out. Yeah.
And I remember when, because it what's Angela say? You're not Elliot, you're the, and she like, and then it cuts, or she's like starting a word that starts with M, but then
mastermind.
And everyone's like, oh, he's the monster or whatever, like he's the bad guy. And then it's like, no, well, I mean, yes, but like in a completely different way.
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was a cool touch. And again, another thing where it's like, you think it's just like a crazy drug withdrawal trip, and it's like, no, this is actually vitally important.
Yeah.
And, but yeah.
This Reddit thread about Tyrell being Elliot is full of passion and aggression.
Like most Reddit threads, sounds like.
Woo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get real into these things that really have no significance at all.
But that's what makes these theories fun, because like,
it
makes you think.
Yeah. Nick, do you want to go through the personality appearances, that one thread that I sent you earlier that that was interesting?
Yeah, so that's the whole. So I can talk about that without actually going too deep into the whole like the switch between the mastermind and the protector. But essentially how I kind of took that, which is cool, is that the appearance of the role, right? The appearance of the personality is fixed. So the protector will always look, whoever is being the protector will always look like Mr. Robot. and whoever is the mastermind will always look like Hooded Elliot. But somewhere throughout the season 4, if not season 3, the mastermind switches from Mr. Robot to Elliot because there's a clear switch in the aggression.
Yes.
Like when between Mr. Robot and how they basically switch roles, and then it becomes Mr. Robot trying to talk the mastermind Elliot out of all this crazy shit and is hell bent on destroying the Dark Army and all the plans. So there is a clear role switch there where they behave very differently. So it's like,
I mean, that comes up a couple times because Mr. Robot, I think it's this season, does a lot of narration in this.
Yep.
In
Well, he
this
talks to
season
us too.
Yeah, he talks to us, right? So,
and that's kind of like the switching moment there is like in season 4 where he starts talking to us, and then Mastermind Elliot, Hooded Elliot, I'll call him, is going on his rampage.
Right. Yeah, it's just that, you know, I mean, are you guys have to be under the impression that the mastermind does not look like the real Elliot, correct? I mean, there's no other way around it.
I don't know.
The mastermind, let's see, that's the thing is I think the way I take it is like the mastermind was Mr. Robot to begin with, and then it switched. But I would say Hooded Elliot is most closely resembling real Elliot. That's like his current, however old he is, appearance.
And the ID thing is just a random misdirect.
Yeah, I can't get
past it either. Yeah.
That's the weird thing is like there's a lot of all these one-off evidence things that people use for the Tyrell bit, but then there's a lot of evidence against it though too. So it's like so that's a lot of what this thread is like doing, because like people are just saying, well, but this, but that.
So I would say keep in mind that this is all happening in his mind, right? Like this whole alternate reality thing.
The
dream sequence.
Yeah.
So Dom would obviously know that Elliot is not the real Elliot because he's not necessarily
not
because
Dom.
Right, you know what I mean. Whoever that is, they can recognize because it's in Elliot's mind he is not the real Elliot because he's the mastermind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
That's a really good way of explaining it. Still being like Rami Malek, but her being like, this looks nothing like you.
Well, because like he'll switch. Like in talking to the therapist.
Oh, Krista.
Doesn't he switch? But he still looks like Elliot.
Yeah.
They go back and forth on what they're showing depending on how they want to frame the scene.
Yeah. I mean, there was one part.
I wonder. Yeah. Does Dom see like Mr. Robot in that situation?
Right.
Even though we're still seeing Elliot.
I think that she sees Elliot, but knows that he is a different personality because it's all happening
it's all
in his mind.
head. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because that Dom, and actually a lot of that Dom would have been programmed to
know,
see the real Elliot in that place, and she recognized that is
an alternate.
The mastermind.
Right.
Yeah. An alternate Elliot. But like Price and all that, they don't pick up on that. His mother. Well,
they were part of the mirage.
The simulation, if you will.
Wasn't Dom also part of that in that scene? Yeah.
Yeah. They all were.
I watching the scene with his mother in their bedroom, I thought that was really cool. Just thinking about mothers in that they always kind of like see past the facade of who you are currently pretending to be or like acting like, and they just see their child, right? Like straight through them. So like regardless if that was the mastermind, child Elliot, protector, Mr. Robot, it wouldn't have mattered what was currently being portrayed. She's gonna see her
kid,
like son. So I thought that was really cool why she blatantly just did not care. It did not matter. Like, and I thought about that too. Like yeah, my mom never cares if I show up like wearing like the hoodie and I look like I'm about to rob a
Yeah,
place versus
yeah.
like I'm I'm dressed up or something like that. And
Yeah.
like that's totally what a mother would do.
Yeah.
It's true.
Answer for the Dom thing. She was the mind police.
The mind
The
police.
thought
Yeah.
I love it. Speaking of Dom, though, I'm glad you mentioned because in my hasty search to try to find a quick explanation of the off by one theory, which is impossible because it'll make your brain like.
I started reading that. I was like, I can't do it on air.
Yeah.
I came across this. Was Dom supposed to die in a plane crash, but didn't due to budget cuts or some other reason? Sam Esmail was asked on Twitter, to which he replied to no. So the plane crash was indeed just a theory.
Yeah.
And didn't actually happen.
Just a theory.
I did not intentionally do that. But I mean, I'll take credit for it.
I wonder if he has to have some videos on this. Yeah, I'd imagine.
I don't know, dude. I feel like this show was wildly slept on. People won awards for it, sure, but I don't think it was as received as it should have been by the greater public.
No, absolutely not.
Which is a tragedy. But yes, I will link. I'll throw the Reddit thread explaining the off by one theory in the comments here. And then I will put it in the show notes so we can include it in the episode description. But super interesting theory if you got like 5 hours to try to understand it.
Dude, they're using calendars and dates and connecting.
Oh my goodness,
our timeline and crap
sounds
like
better
that.
for a YouTube video to explain
it could be a massive video. But so essentially, when they go in and they hack Susan Jacobs' smart home, it says like it's Wednesday, June 11th or whatever, 2015. Go to real life calendar, June 11th, 2015. I don't remember if that's the exact date in the thread or not, but that day was actually a Thursday. So they're saying that like the simulation broke essentially, and as the viewer, we're seeing this timeline play out in our reality, whereas everything from that point forward is off by one, right? Or the entire series is off by one. And there's the dialogue with Tyrell and Mr. Robot on Coney Island where he's like, you're looking at what's in front of you, but you're not seeing what's above you or whatever. Yeah. And that's referring to it actually being like the date is just off by one. And it's really interesting. Doesn't sound as interesting when you're trying to quickly explain it because you can't really quickly explain it. But it is wild. And it was a super, super popular theory as the show is progressing. So give it a read, please.
I just love how like confused Tyrell was in that scene when he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Up?
Yeah.
Good times.
So yeah, I mean, do you guys have can you pick can we quickly pick like top 3 characters, top 3 episodes?
Wow.
From the entire series. I'll go first to give you guys time to think. I didn't prepare anything, so it's off the top of my head. But characters. Irving, number 1. Easy number 1. Vera, easy number 2. And then for number 3, it starts to get a little difficult, but I would probably slide Tyrell in there just due to like the interesting and like super huge shift in his character from the crazy American Psycho dude that we saw in season 1 to the like little scared like puppy dog that was following around Elliot for the rest of the series. It was just such a dramatic turn in his personality. It was just super interesting. Favorite episodes, we're gonna go episode 7 of season 4, the theatrical Vera Elliot is the Storm episode. Favorite episode number 2 is probably the 90s sitcom episode
That one sucked.
in season 2. And then favorite episode number 3 is probably the Oneer from season 3.
5.
Maybe
five.
episode 5. Yeah. And it maybe the silent episode.
Mm.
It would be really close between those two, but I probably would lean towards the Oneer. Are any of you ready for yours? All right, Nick, you go.
All right. So episodes, before I forget, definitely Vera episode. 4-act Vera episode. Fantastic.
It was 5-act.
Was it 5 acts? Cool.
Mhm.
5-act Vera episode. Then I want to say the Oneer from 5 is just like so good in 5, and it's so well placed in that season too. That's the big takeaway on that one. And then while the silent one is really good, I want to say the one right before that with Tyrell in the woods, like basically Tyrell's death episode.
Yeah.
Just like kicking off this season 4 after having watched so much of the series now, like when just like watching 4, it's just like, wow, like that was the first episode, and like obviously outside like the opener, but like I was like, this episode is just like great. And it's only going to get better. So it's just like a nice preface to where the whole season goes. So those are definitely my 3 episodes. Wish I could pluck one out of like season 2. But 2's like 2 really big arcs. Like the prison arc is not a episode.
Yeah.
But good bits in there. Characters, Vera, Irving, and Price.
Price, yeah. He was a consideration. He's a good character.
Yeah.
I just love his voice. I love his voice.
Yeah, and it's just so tough. Like I throw Price in there because he's so present throughout the entire series, and he just has some great moments, whether it's like in his office talking about being the most powerful person in the room to being like potentially the most powerful person in the room at his death episode. Just like always great. Vera, it's so hard to be like, yeah, a character that's in the show so little is so great, but like just golden. And then Irving, like he's only in 1 season, but like every scene he's in, he's just like it's his season. Like season 3 is all about Irving.
The season of Irving.
All right. So I have to try to not put every single episode from season 4. So I'm gonna pick out the silent one. I just had so much fun watching that episode. Getting to the end of it, I was like, I'm pretty sure they didn't fucking talk at all during that episode. And
it's so Christmassy. I love the Christmas episodes.
Oh yeah, did you guys expect like season 4 being Christmas season?
Not at all. Not at all. But I loved it.
It's the last like 5 days of the year or whatever.
Yeah. And then I do really I have a soft spot for the 9th episode of season 1 where we find out that Mr. Robot is not Mr. He's not real.
It's a good episode.
I just love the Fight Club vibe we have going on there. And then I probably have to do the Walking Through the Woods Tyrell death episode for my final one. Just a cool episode with the 2 storylines, which are so different from one another, but are both really, really good. And it reminded me of that Sopranos episode a lot. Characters, I have to go with Irving, number 1, obvious choice. Leon, I love Leon. Every all 5-6 scenes we get of him, he's great. And then I have to go with Tyrell because I think Tyrell's got one of the best arcs in the show, from the American Psycho start that we had with him to the more mellowed out, bunch of fucked up shit happened to me and my life's ruined Tyrell that we get towards the end. So yeah, those are my picks.
All right, Daddy.
Okay.
Man. The way you say that.
So glad he derailed.
Yeah.
I don't think he can speak.
He's never gonna call himself dad again because of that.
Well, like I can't
Every
believe
time my
it because
kids
of
call
that.
me
but
daddy,
then
I'm gonna just
Yeah, I'm like
after
no.
the reveal of this season, what happened to Elliot, and he's still Mr. Fatherbot down there. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got some bad vibes coming from
Right.
the lower left screen here.
Oh man.
I'm still
He's-
stuck on hearing daddy from Nick.
Tough crowd up top here.
Oh, okay. So characters, I have Elliot because no one freaking picked Elliot. Gosh, you
Yeah, I
guys
like how
suck.
nobody picked like a main character.
Yeah, right.
Or any of the main characters.
None of the main characters. Yeah.
Elliot, Mr. Robot. No. Irving.
Elliot, Mr. Robot.
Alt Elliot.
And
Yeah,
young Elliot.
Yeah.
Mom Elliot.
Mom.
Dad got he gets the show. We didn't
Can
get
we
it clearly.
say
I got
we're
it.
our favorite character? Because I mean, we were a character in the show.
Yeah.
It's true.
The voyeur character.
Voyeur.
Yeah.
Is
Anyways,
that-
continue with
fancy
your
viewer?
characters. We keep
Yeah, go
rudely
ahead.
interrupting you.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine because I really didn't have any picks. You're just
Yeah,
delaying my choices. Okay, so episodes, because you got all the characters, right? It's all Elliot.
Yeah,
All three Elliot.
all
Okay.
three Elliots.
Oh, that
got
wasn't a joke? Okay.
it.
I mean, it was, but we're just gonna roll with it. Episodes. Season 4, episode 7, all day.
Classic.
Season 3, episode 5,
The Oneer classic.
and episode 3, or episode 3, season 3, episode 7.
Which
What
one was that?
The one where he's gonna off himself and meets the
Great
yeah,
episode.
that was a
Little
good
boy.
one.
Sleeper
Yeah.
episode.
Very good
That was a good
episode.
one.
so
I
good.
still don't think it was gonna be an episode, but whatever.
There's
There's
so
some good-
many good ones.
There's some good variety there between our choices,
Yeah.
which was nice.
He essentially had a gun to his head. Nick's like, no, he wasn't going to kill himself. He was just going to
Yeah.
die.
He's gonna take a bunch of morphine and be okay.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
whatever.
gonna
get
Doesn't
really
everyone
hot.
take a bag of morphine to the beach?
Right.
Mike gets it.
I
He's
do
just
that
gonna
to kill, man.
he's just gonna get really high. Like
Yeah.
he's
So
gonna have
high.
a really good time.
Really
Wow.
good time at the beach.
But we've seen him try to OD before. It doesn't work out. And if anything, he'd probably just slip into his mind prison and like kill himself
Dude,
there and then leave.
That part, the Adderall scene you're talking about,
Yeah.
when the whole like
Dude,
pouring
so
concrete
got-
down
so
his
gross,
throat was
Yeah.
crazy. I thought that was actually happening at first,
Yeah.
and then it split to him puking up the. Oh,
Yeah. Man.
a lot of really crazy moments in this show. I love it.
For sure.
So where does this series rank among some of your other favorite shows? Like for me, this third rewatch cemented this as the greatest show of all time.
Wow.
What? Say that again.
Like
This
Goat
is the
Show?
greatest show of all time.
Wow.
This is the Tom Brady of TV.
That's
Stop
so true.
it.
It's the GOAT. Michael Jordan.
That's better.
Oh, you're not in the
Network
LeBron
television.
camp? Let's open that can of worms.
No,
He's
nobody's in the
he's a
LeBron
frickin'
camp. He's a piece
joke.
of crap.
Rest in
Um,
peace, Kevin Love.
Pansy.
Dude, go watch The Last Dance and you realize how much better Jordan was.
That was a good show.
It probably cracks the top 10 for me, to be honest with you.
Top 10.
It's great.
Ouch.
It's great. Don't get me
Wow.
wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Ouch.
Maybe top 5. I'd really have to think about it, to be honest with you.
I'd have to
Um,
think about
Cracks
what's
the
even in my
top
top
10.
It's
5.
like nowhere. It's nowhere near the top of
This
of-
top five's about to crack that cheek, bro.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right.
Okay. I'll respect even terrible opinions, but I'm just kidding. I just
Wow.
really hate you. But
Yeah.
Jeff,
I can't believe what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah.
Well, same. That's two.
You guys
of
are
us.
supposed to be friends.
That's two of us, bro.
Top 3.
Top 3, nice. What do you have in that
Easy.
category?
Yeah, what's your other 2? Just tell us your top 3 shows now.
That's what
Troy
happens when
doesn't
you
come
come on the
on.
show, Jeff.
I
Okay?
can't.
When you're not behind the
Come
scenes.
on, you could do it, Daddy.
Tell
You
us
can
all
do
your
it.
secrets.
Did you just call me daddy?
I did, yes.
Ah, so much pressure.
Tell us,
Okay.
Daddy.
No. Number 1 is Lost.
You're
All right,
kidding,
well,
right?
you're staying behind the scenes from this point.
I'm
You
kidding.
leave-
I'm
Oh.
kidding. Don't delete me.
Yeah, Southern Hemisphere is really failing me right now.
Do leave me.
It's the
Okay,
bladders. The bladders down here are real full, bro.
I have to pee so freaking bad.
Must be the gravity. Gravity's pulling all the urine down here.
Lost in Bridgerton, and then Mr. Robot. Okay, we're done.
All right,
Lost in Bridgerton.
Well, now
Totally
that
kidding.
they've
I'm totally kidding,
infuriated
by the
me like fully, we'll wrap up here. But yeah,
What about
I'll have mercy on you guys.
You gonna ask Nick
All
where
right, yeah,
this
Nick.
falls
Nick,
in?
where does this sit with you?
You know, without
Take
making
about 15 minutes to explain this. If you-
without making like an actual list, I would like to say it's in the top 5. Just simply out of like the fact that by the numbers, if you were to like rate the show, it's like high scoring across the board, just ballparking thinking about that. But also I've watched it twice. There's not many shows that I've platinum twice. So
Yeah.
so you got to fall somewhere up there just for
Yeah.
that achievement alone.
That's true. That's
Absolutely.
true. And the fact that it was entertaining for you, even though you've already seen it.
Yeah, I mean,
Rewatch value is high on this one, I will say.
yeah, I mean, it has just as much rewatch value as like, well, Game of Thrones, I would say, has like more rewatch value because I think there's some exhaustion to have with the depth and tone of Mr. Robot, whereas like
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, you know, it's got a nice layer of fun and
Yeah.
and fantasy to it.
Right.
And death.
Yeah, I could see Mr. Robot wearing you down after a while.
Make me
Um,
start thinking like Vera's a personality I have.
Yeah.
Why are there sections of time missing from my day? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
My
Yeah.
night. Why am I so tired? I feel like I never sleep.
Why do I have this bag of morphine next to my bed?
Oh, sleeper character right there.
Right?
What crazy or something Andy, the drug dealer
Hard
gets all,
Andy.
Hard
Oh,
Andy.
yeah. Yes.
What a great like one right there. Like,
Dude,
like
so
a
good.
3-minute scene.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm glad that you guys liked it. Really, I was nervous. Civ, spoiler alert, he didn't join
yeah.
us tonight, but
Where's his
he
feelings
was
on this?
infuriated with
With
the
last
end of
season.
this season.
How?
He thought it was stupid.
What did he want?
I mean,
I think he wanted
vibe
the
a little with
full
it.
He
on,
wanted time travel.
I can
the
vibe a little bit
sci-fi
with that.
stuff.
Yeah, I can vibe a little bit
Um,
with Bio's feelings are.
Yeah. I
But
can
up
too.
until the end, Biociv was loving it, and you guys enjoyed it, and I was really nervous because I really hyped this thing up, but
You
I'm glad
did.
that it delivered for you guys.
It did. Yeah.
That's the biggest question. Did Mike overhype it?
Not for me.
No, not for
No.
me. I do think Mike overhyped the ending a little bit too much for me personally.
Okay.
That's
Primarily
Right,
with
'cause he
his
was like-
I'll take that victory. I'll
with
take
his
that victory.
placement of where you should rewatch the at the
Right.
you know what I mean?
Like what
Episode
made him
12,
go
he was
back
like,
and rewatch the whole
"Whoa."
thing?
Like episode 12 was like
That's
what?
fair. That's fair.
See,
I'll take
so
that
there,
victory
Mike.
though.
Yeah. That's a solid win that you did not overhype it. Obviously, if
Yeah.
someone was like, "Dude, this show, like, you are tripping."
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah. Which, in and of itself, the fact that I didn't overhype this, I am known, if anyone knows me, to overhype
Yeah.
literally everything I like. So the fact
And you
that
like everything.
it wasn't just me trying to overhype this, it actually delivered, which is awesome. Recommendations: if you enjoyed Mr. Robot, I would say you could try out Homecoming on Prime. It's another Sam Esmail project, 2 seasons, short. pretty cool, pretty interesting story. And then he had a limited series on TNT or TBS, one of those two, called Briar Patch, which was really, really interesting. One and done season. You can check those out. They're good. I mean, after watching Mr. Robot, though, like they're
Nothing
like
stacks
a
up,
couple
yeah.
couple rungs on the ladder below Mr. Robot, but good nonetheless. Before we get out of here, I just want to say thanks to Chris again for stopping by and commenting along. Make sure you subscribe so we can give away this Switch. I'm sure Nick is tired of it being in his basement. And we have 2 weeks until March Madness starts. So get in the Discord, fill out a bracket, jump on the website showboysmedia.com and take the poll to help us help sway our decisions maybe in some of these first round matchups. Our Patreon episode for February, is that like up on the site now, Nick, on Patreon? Is it like available to watch to our patrons?
Yes.
Okay. So patrons, check it out. We reacted to the poll. If you want to sign up and become a patron, get exclusive monthly episodes, go to patreon.com/showboyspodcast. Until next week, goodbye, friends. What a ride.
Hello, friend.
Win this Switch so you can play Pokemon Unite with Dad and I.
You get a Switch. You get a Switch. And you get a